I'm out here. I tried to go live. I don't know how to connect my TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all that. So I'm here recording. And again, I told y'all I was going to come with my African Ancestry mantra climb results. So before I talk about my results, I do want to talk about what made me take my test and want to know about my lineage. And as you know, I did have my test taken, my ancestry DNA test taken a few months ago. I'm sorry, years ago. Sorry, y'all. So yeah, a few years ago, I had the ancestry DNA test taken, and I got my results back. I posted them. I'm gonna probably post them out after this video as well. But the reason that I do it is because I don't know if you know. A lot of the EU, the European Union, I'm just bringing that up because a lot of Caucasians or Europeans, they always have a second option. They want to know, they just want to have somewhere else to go if they need to. And the EU gives them that right if that's where their lineage is from. So the African ECOWAS, ECOWAS, is like the African Union, the AU. Um, So yeah, the ECOWAS is just like the EU for black people, as far as my research goes, as far as what I know today. And what it does is, most black people, African Americans, lineage comes from um, Africa. So it just gives you a second option. Um, I'm sure you probably heard of the right of return, um, return. I think it's the year of return with Ghana and a lot of their visa and residency. But with the ECOWAS, you have 15 countries that you can be citizens by recognition. Um, Majority of the countries you do get the same rights as the locals on paper. I've always advocated for you not to go to, when you move abroad or something, you don't want to really go and take the locals' jobs. You want to add jobs. But I've come to a realization recently that you never know if your skills is in demand somewhere else. And that's why a lot of Europeans take advantage of having a multiple options, because you just never know what may happen in the US. And you never know if you may have to move. If the cost to living ratio is off, you may can move somewhere else where your skills and your passion is actually in demand. You may can be a teacher in something that you probably was just a regular um, first line employee, or just entry level. You may actually have the skills and experience for that industry in another country. So it's always good to have an option, even if you don't want to move out of the USA. I just think it's always great to have another option. So as I was saying, you never know what options you may come across by having that option. I realized while I was here in Thailand, people really do apply for jobs here that's not a Thai citizens, and they hire people if you have the experience that they're looking for. Like I said, if your passion is in demand somewhere else and you can have a better quality of life, I believe that should definitely at least have that option. I just feel like I'm boxed in when I don't have other options. Um, so that's why and I'm inquisitive. So, I want to know where I came from. I'm on a journey to find myself. You don't know where you are, where you're going, until you know where you came from. So um, that's why I decided to take my test. Now, years ago, and I don't know if this is still the case, to get an ECOWAS, which is the passport or citizen by recognition for the 15 West African countries. In the past, you had to use African Ancestry. That was the only credible DNA source that you could use. I don't know if it's still the same, um, because I done the Ancestry DNA at first, and at the time they was not using that as a credible source. Now I think they are, because African is African Ancestry is not cheap. But it does give you a direct tribe versus the African DNA is just a percentage of a country's that your bloodline comes from, and it tests like both sides. I am still on the hunt to get my Padre clan results. Like I said, I was going to talk about was with the Mantra clan and the Pantra clan with African ancestry DNA. The Mantra clan is, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, y'all. I will chop up some words so seriously. But the Mantra clan is basically your mother's line. It's like a line in your mom's side. Only females could take it. It does not break ever. It goes back, well, I mean, it goes back 500 to 2,000 years. Um, so that's the test that I took and the results that I am about to share with y'all. The Patricline is the father side of it. So I need my uncle, which I prefer my Uncle Jay, to, if anybody could try to get him to take that test. I have already purchased the test. I just need it done so I know my father's line. So, without further ado, my results are ding 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 ding. Yes, the Mandika out of Senegal, y'all. That is my mother's line. And yes, if you ever heard or know anything about the Mandika, that's where the Mali Empire is from. No, Mandika is from the Mali Empire. Y'all know I twist stuff around, y'all. That doesn't mean the knowledge that I'm spitting is not accurate. Um, but yeah, so the Mandinka tribe is where my mother's side is from, and it does give me access to the right of citizen by recognition. I can work, live, or go to school. My kids can also get it as well. You know, as the descendants of me, they have the option. It costs thousands to get the right to return, or the year of return. What Ghana is doing is way more expensive than actually having that DNA. So it saves you money. Even though African ancestry is expensive, it saves you so much money if you do have that your DNA results. It costs thousands of dollars to try to get a Ghana citizenship or just a residency. So it's good to go ahead and get that test done, especially if you want other options. And like I said, you never know. It may be something that doesn't pay a lot in the U.S. Your passion may be something that just not in demand around you, just like oversaturated everywhere around you. But it may be somewhere in Africa, beautiful Africa, because Africa is not what you know everybody think. And I know it's not perfect. I know they have their issues. It's a big continent, so but they own their land. Most of the places they really own their land. They have real fruits and and in some places in Africa, like Kenya, Nairobi, even though that's East Africa, um, I still have that option to do business there if I want to do business. But my DNA is West African. So, say if I want to stay in Ghana for a minute, and then I say I don't like it here, I could go to Benin or Ivory Coast or Nigeria and get residency with my ECOWAS passport. So, with my DNA results and get that passport through that country. So that's a good thing. But as that I was saying about Kenya, um, Kenya looks great. I mean, let me get off of Kenya real quick. It's funny that my family side comes from the Mandinka tribe, and I don't know if y'all know Mansa Musa was part of the Mali Empire. So I'm gonna need him to drop some coins. I'm gonna need that ancestor to drop some coins. um, and I didn't say this in the beginning like I should. I'm not doing this test to get family secrets. I'm not doing it for to reveal family secrets. I don't judge my ancestors, whatever they had to do to get by. I don't judge my ancestors. Now, I have researched four of my biological grandparents' surnames, and it is one ancestor that I do kind of judge, and I'm just going by the surname. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Greenwood LaFleur or Jackson LaFleur. That is where that Greenwood and Jackson is Greenwood and Jackson, Mississippi. I did not know that my one of my biological grandparents' surname is LaFleur, and just a little bit of research that I've been doing, because I got 10% and 1 or 2%, 10% European, 1 or 2% Native American. I thought that came from my maternal side, which it still could, but just from the research of the surnames, it may be LaFleur, because Greenwood LaFleur and his dad, I don't know if his dad was Jackson LaFleur or that was his brother, but they were having children with their slaves, and they were white. I mean, they say they were Choctaw Native Americans. His mother is supposed to be fully Choctaw, which we all know that it's more to it than that. some stuff been just completely taken over. So, and I thought maybe just having some surnames, you're just named after your slave owner, So you would think, okay, well, LaFleur is just maybe a slave owner, because we know it's French. Maybe it's just the last name of the slave owner. But the fact that I have my DNA test and it is 10% white, 1% Native American in my bloodline, that kind of says where that's from just the research that I've done so far. Still a lot more research to go. That's where that more than likely comes from. So, that is an ancestor that I won't forgive. Sorry. And I do judge. But my other ancestors, I'm not doing this to find out secrets on who was having kids by who. I just want to know my lineage, and I feel like it's relevant. If it wasn't relevant, it wouldn't be traceable. So, and a lot of people do it, like I said, for the benefits of having second options, and some people just do it because they're inquisitive. They want to know about their bloodline, and our ancestors are, maybe they want our stories to be told. Maybe it's certain things that we do need to go back to. I know most of my family is Christian. 95% of the Mandinka tribe is Islam, Sunni Islam Muslims. So the ones that were colonized in Africa became Muslims. The one colonized in the U.S. are Christians. Both are man-made religions. Before that, they studied a lot of animism, cosmology, and they do still to this day in Africa practice some of their African spirituality intertwined with Christianity. Intertwined with Islam. And it's funny because the first African country that I researched was Senegambia, Gambia, because and a few people that know me know that I was very intrigued by Senegambia because of their study of cosmology, and I'm very inquisitive about cosmology. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Study of the stars, basically how it actually affects us, almost like astrology, but way more in depth. Astrology is more like astronomy for dummies. Cosmology goes a lot deeper than that. I have even made a friend from Senegal because I was doing so much research on the Gambia and Senegambia, and it's right by each other. They both are right by each other. Senegambia is like a little town in Gambia that's a tourist town, from what I've read, and a lot of the Mendika people are there. They're in Senegambia, Gambia. So it's just amazing how your intuition or your, guides you to where you need to look. A lot of dots are connecting basically. So I was really intrigued by that. Even though I even I even have followed some of the Gambia pages, the news pages, just so I can do my research on different places that I may want to settle down. I do want to buy a house, and I just don't see it happening in the U.S. It just seems like you don't really own your house in the U.S. It's just always something. I mean, even if you paid off your mortgage, they may say you need to change something. They come with some rule and they fine you thousands or hundreds of $1,000s and you lose your house. It's just not worth it. They go up and make up numbers to say your house is worth more than this, and now your taxes is high. I just don't want to deal with that. Not saying that it's not, that you don't have to deal with that in Africa. I just rather expand my options. I've spent years trying to find a house in the best area for me and my kids in Louisiana, and I just couldn't. See myself spending that much money. It's just not worth it. I see houses in Africa and the prices, it just seems like it's just much more worth it. And I know that I will be guided. I am being guided on where I need to actually lay my foundations for me and my kids. Even though my middle two are getting older, I still want to be able to have a land where people can come and just build if they want. If they want to build or have enough space. For my family. So I'm not doing this just for me. My Mantra Clan line, it covers my aunts, my cousins, everything, every female, even men, down my mother's line. My uncle, even my grandma's sons, if they were to ever want to buy property, even though you can get a business ways around it, you don't have to have your DNA results. But if they ever wanted to save money or actually have a full citizenship in an African country, they had the opportunity to do it now. You know, they could, I guess, get my mama's birth certificate and get their birth certificate and, and or just get the test themselves. But now we do have that option to have a second passport. So, or multiple passports. And even if nobody does anything with it in my generation, if it's my grandkids, they have the option to go back to Africa. Because I don't know if y'all do research or if y'all are looking at news, but Africa is supposed to be dominating. Africa is the future. That's where most of the young people will be at. The West just does so much damage um, to Africa. The same damage they do to black people in the U.S. They do the same and play the same tricks in Africa. And it's just really sad, the same thing they do in Jamaica. It's just really sad. And some countries actually do stand up and try to fight against, like the Sahel, which is Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. Those are countries I probably would want to go to. They're dictatorships, but I like how they're being dictated. I mean, the U.S. is damn near a dictatorship, or at least authoritarian. It's definitely a lot going on in the U.S. So, I just want to have the option. And it's crazy that those are the countries with the most instability, just because they want to stand up for themselves. It's Africa is the future, though, and most people know that the growth rate. I don't know if you heard of Dagnet. That's definitely something I would love to invest in, which is a gas or oil company in Nigeria, and a lot of African Americans are invested in that. And if you have that passport, you have the right to do that without paying all this type of money and getting all type of different stuff just to connect the dots. You know, you have the right to do things like that when you have your passport. So that's why. And again, we are from the Mendika tribe from Senegal. So now you could say that Mansa Musa is my cousin, my uncle, my granddaddy, you know. So, and also, Kunta Kinte, he's from the Mendika tribe. And it's interesting, the first movie that I ever seen about slavery was Roots. That was about the Mendika tribe. Alex Haley, his bloodline comes from the Mendika tribe. And Kunta Kinte is a real person from the Mendika tribe. So, I'm excited to have this information. Is it the end and be all of where I'm going? No, that would be absolutely weird and crazy. However, it gives me option. Everything not 100% credible. I don't just believe anything that I see, even if I did take a test. But it definitely opens doors and gives me more options. So that's why I did it, y'all. I hope y'all can understand that. And I hope my family is happy that at least they know what tribe we came from. They can do more research on the Mandinga tribe, very powerful tribe um, that started off in Mali. So, yeah, I love y'all. I hope y'all found this entertaining, interesting. Take care. Share the video, like, share, and subscribe. Love you.